up, what's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. As always, I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Thank you for joining me in my discussion. So today I want to talk about something that has been a hard one. It has been a hard one, even though I normally exude traits as this. It is something that is hard for me to learn about myself. So before I get into it, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell down below, and make sure you guys check out my other content on my channel. And just thank you for allowing me your precious asset, your time. So without further ado, what I want to talk to you guys about is patience. What is patience? Why is it so important on this journey? This topic is very much something I have learned a lot about. It is something that I have gone through so many things, right, to change in my life so that I could embrace this in its entirety. And when I say that with all the most love, right? Sorry, I'm just moving my cards out of the way, guys. So patience has been really hard for me, and not in the sense of I'm patient with everybody. I'm patient with everybody. I will give you patience and patience and patience, and I will be patient with you. What I'm not patient with is myself. I'm not patient with myself, and I have had to acknowledge this and accept it and honor it and come into a space of how can I show myself more patience. There are things that I'm learning now that before I would not take the time to learn because I did not have patience for myself. I expected myself to be perfect right out of the bat, right off the bat, right out of the gate. I wanted to be 1,000% perfect, and I was upset when I wasn't, and it would cause me to stop trying these new things. And I'll use yoga as an example because yoga was definitely one of those things that the reason that I stopped doing yoga for, I've been practicing yoga on and off for 12 years. And the reason that I stopped when I would start was because I would expect myself to be able to hold the poses as compared to what the teacher was holding. And you just can't put that expectation on yourself. And that's what I've realized. And I've realized that it's so imperative to take a step back and to honor that we too are human, and we too are going to fall out of the pose, and we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to have moments where we're not at the top of our game, and we're going to have moments where we've expected to be one way and it turns out to be an entirely different way. And this comes with patience with self. You'll learn that that's just a part of the journey, and that's a part of experiencing the beauty that comes with living. I was wondering why I didn't show patience with myself, and I realized that this is absolutely a generational curse in my family. Expecting and having high expectations on ourselves to be perfectionists, and then being upset when we don't meet that expectation. And a lot of times it's easy to do that with people too, to hold them in such a high expectation and such a high rank of being perfect. You have to be perfect, otherwise I can't love you the way that I would normally, right? And that's what we don't realize is a mirror of how we're treating ourselves. So in holding myself up to this high expectation, I was expecting myself to be perfect with my schedule, to be able to schedule every moment of my time into doing something creative, because I thought that's what it meant. I thought that's what living your passion was, right? And what I'm learning now is that part of being patient is being able to scale back and come from a place of compassion for myself. Like, I think people put this on them, like I have to do something every day, rather than let me start out slow. Like, I'm just going to start out 1,000% and hope that it works out. And then when it doesn't, you find yourself in this space of, telling yourself you're not good enough, or telling yourself, of course you failed, you always fail, or telling yourself like, no, you're not as good as so-and-so, or you didn't do what so-and-so did, and it's hard for us to come from a place of just knowing that everybody's different and everybody is going to have their own pace, and that includes ourselves. Self-love is a very unique journey. It's very unique because it's not something that everybody is willing to try, or it's something that so many will put a little bit of emphasis on, and when it doesn't change things overnight, they give up on it because, well, I expect myself to be perfect, so I expect everything that I try, that I touch, that I do to be perfect as well, which means that it should give me instant results. You know, I say it's a journey because I feel like we could spend the rest of our lives falling in love with ourselves and still not come close to knowing ourselves in our entirety. And that is a gift because it means that there's no cap. And that's why patience is so important, because are you willing to be patient with yourself for the rest of your life? Are you willing to show up and be there for yourself for the rest of your life? Are you willing to be your best friend for the rest of your life? Your lover, your soulmate. Because when you spend time falling in love with yourself, you cannot do any wrong, right? Being in love is such a beautiful place to come from, and it's that place of not being judgmental of others, right? We're easily in a space, we'll easily find ourselves in a space of being so accepting of others' actions and not accepting of ourselves, right? And yes, you can only give as much love as you give to yourself. So think about that for a second. If you accept others, but you can't accept yourself, where are you actually judging others? Like when they choose to do something that doesn't suit you, right? And everything else that's outside of that, you can handle. Like, it's okay. That's not necessarily crossing a boundary. That's not necessarily being bad to me. That's not necessarily putting me in a precarious position. But if they do something that puts you into a precarious position, then now it's hard to love them. Now it's hard to accept them. And that's that energy of learning to do that with yourself. Because if you accept yourself entirely, even if somebody does something that you would see as morally wrong, okay, because we all have our own say and opinion on what we think is right or wrong. So if, say, they did something that you thought was morally wrong, you can still come from a place of saying, well, that's just how they live their life, or that's the decision that they made, or that's the way that they chose to do things. And that's not something that I have control over, because they're the ones that had the decision to do that, just like I have the decision to change and to do what I choose with my life. And patience is the one thing that I think really directly relates to our worth, because if we're so patient with everyone else and not ourselves, that means that we don't have very high self-esteem, we don't have self-confidence, and we don't have high self-worth. And we tie our value to what everything else is happening around us, what everyone else is doing. And that is absurd. Your value is tied to the breath in your lungs. You were given life, and you've been given this day a gift, and that's your value. Your value is so high that Source says, I'm giving you another day to be on this earth so that you can gift your life to me. Not in the sense of religion, but that's going out and doing what makes you happy, right? Doing what brings you peace, being patient with yourself, being kind, being compassionate with yourself, and embracing the things that you do have passion for and desire for. Okay? I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about those things and those moments in your life where you can come into a place of truth and honor. Patience is not easy. It's simple. But never has it been easy. Because there will always be those moments that come back up, that come back around, that remind you of how you were impatient with yourself. And that's another trigger point to overcome. That's another moment to get beyond. That's another growth cycle to embrace. All of life is a cycle. All of life is a cycle. And the more you're able to identify those cycles, and the more that you're able to honor those cycles for what they were and the lessons that they're bringing, the easier it will be for you to honor why you made the decisions that you made. And then as you do that, you'll be able to come into a place of self-acceptance. Okay? So patience. How can you practice patience with yourself? How can you honor being patient with yourself when it doesn't turn out the way that you want it to be? And how can you be patient when you're not getting it the way that you thought that you should? All right? Or things aren't happening the way that you thought they should. How can you be patient? And how can you say, you know what? It's okay because it's going to happen in my timing, right? Not when you say it is, but when it's right for you and source comes into alignment with you on that. Because sometimes we have to learn about ourselves and we have to learn a lot of things before we're given what we ask for. And it's just because right now the world is coming from such a state of suffering, and it's learning to understand that we are worthy of what we ask for. And that comes with being patient. Can you be patient enough on this journey and hold on? When you feel like you can't hold on anymore, can you still hold on and have faith that everything that you ask is coming to you? And that's about how much you can hold on and have faith in yourself. Practice that every day. Trusting yourself. That's having faith in yourself, knowing that you are going to make the right decisions. Being patient with yourself if it might not be the best decision. Being patient with yourself in the lesson that you have to learn from that situation. We've all been there. Everybody experiences it. You're not alone. We're in this together. And if we come together and band together as a collective, we will be stronger and we will come up out of these cycles faster than one could ever imagine. And we will rise ourselves up into a higher state of being, which is the ultimate goal here. To come at life from a place of true unconditional love. And that includes true unconditional love for ourselves, which encompasses being patient with yourself. So if you say, or if people said you're a patient person, are you being patient with yourself? And the best way to find that out is to do something that's always scared you and see how you talk to yourself about it after you've done it. This is what I have for you, my fellow creators. Thank you so very much for joining me. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell below. As always, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Becky's out of the house for now, but until next time, peace out. I love y'all. Bye.